Okay, good morning, everyone. And I'm really glad to be here. So I prepared like 127 slides. No, I'm just kidding. So, okay, so, I don't want to speak a lot of the mandates of the ICT, but you already know what's the mandate of the ICT. And we're covering a lot of agencies, around 455 agencies and bureaus. And we have to assist also around 1,700 LGUs, around and thousands of, almost 40,000 barangays. And right now we have around, I think, 22 major agencies that we need to assist as well. And this is quite a big job for us to assist. And in the ICT, we're quite unique compared to any other agency because most of the other government departments, they are really focused on their per sectoral mandates. But in the ICT, our job, especially on the e-government side, is to find ways to integrate their mandates so that they're able to bring ease of doing business, expedite a lot of things, including processes, and make sure that we're able to deliver a better public service to the people. So, I'll speak a bit of the mandate. Maybe some of you don't know the mandate of the Department of Information and Communications Technology. This is a 7-year-old department, so it's very young. Okay, so, but it has a huge mandate in terms of primary policy, planning, coordination. So this is what we do. We coordinate not only with government to government, but also private, because we would like to learn from the private as well. But take note, it's only about coordination. So we do a lot of implementation, development, promotion, and basically we also do administration if needed. Okay, so we're not here to disrupt any other agency, but to enable them and to back them up to make sure that they're able to perform their mandates in terms of technology and innovation. So we are not actually the one mandating, we are actually the one enabling, or we are the one backing them up to perform their duty to make sure that they're able to innovate as well. Because we know that technology is really necessary nowadays, right? Whatever sector you are in. And we are also part of the ease of doing business. So this is a Republic Act that we would like to implement, because more likely, especially before the pandemic, government agency can still process manually, right? And maybe 90%, they don't need technology, they can still fall in line, they can go face-to-face. But nowadays, things change, okay? And we have to make sure that we're able to make the government also digitally ready. I know I see some good friends here, especially my seatmate, one of my best friends there, the father of FINTECH. Okay, so, Little Billion Web. And we've been discussing a lot of things even before the pandemic. And I can see a lot of our good friend from Grover is also here. I had a meeting with him in Singapore, and I can see a lot of visionary people here. And sometimes visions are just visions, Dreams are just dreams. When I was a typical startup, I stopped dreaming, I better to start doing something than just dreaming, right? So ease of doing business is a huge Republic Act of this country, because we are here to see which agencies that are not complying with this, and we go there and help them. If their step is 1 to 10, we go there, and through technology, maybe step 1, 2, 3, correct? If the agencies are not even talking to each other, but literally, technologically speaking, they need each other. They are interconnected to each other, right? But without an arbitrator or an enabler, they're able to perform in a segregated way, so everything will be siloed later on. No integration, no collaboration, repeated technologies, repeated expenses, etc., etc. That's why ease of doing business is very vital to us nowadays. And take note, there's a new House bill, the House Bill 7327. It's called the E-Governance Act. All right, so this bill is actually will strengthen the mandates of the ICT to make sure that all agencies, including local and national government, are interconnected, harmonized, interoperable, to make sure that we're able to perform in a seamless way, right? And that's the main purpose of the e-government services under the DICT. So that's the one that I'm handling right now. So, I don't know if you're aware, but we have a bureau inside the ICT, inside eGov. It's called the Government Digital Transformation Bureau. Same like Bureau of Immigration. I see some foreign friends here. I'm sure you've used some of our technologies there. And if you enter the Bureau of Immigration, they need to require you to submit documents. You're not allowed to enter the country without passport, right? Same thing with Government Digital Transformation Bureau. So meaning, the ICT under the e-government, every time that they implement a certain innovation or technology, they have to let the ICT review first to make sure that's aligned to the holistic view of the government, or else we just allow them to do whatever they want to do, and maybe a lot of repeated systems will be implemented and a lot of uncollaborative and unintegrated technologies in the future. That's why this bureau is very important, to make sure that we're able to assist the agency to implement something and to make sure that something can be relevant also to other government agencies. So that is the purpose of this bureau. All right? So anyway, I'm not going to discuss all of this. You know that we're not only here to digitally improve the services of the government, but to make sure we are securing it, number one. Number two, it should be enabled, ICT-enabled government. In fact, we're moving a lot of legacy systems into an innovative system. Because most of the government agencies, if you try to look at it, they're still clinging to their old systems, and they don't want to adopt new technology. That's why innovation is quite impossible sometimes, because you're trying to build a Ferrari car with a Volkswagen engine. You know what I mean? So you need to fix the back end of it. And we are educating them, we are assisting them how to make that happen. And of course, greater public reach is very important. Technology that is not being used is useless, right? So we need to make sure that it should be user-friendly, make sure that it's being used, make sure that both government and private will benefit out of this kind of innovation, okay? So we have around 37 priority projects this year, but I'm not going to discuss all the 37 projects. I would like to speak with you about 5, because I would like to focus on our topic for the FinTech. So all of this actually is more on the FinTech side, actually. There's a lot of integration here for FinTech companies. In fact, I've met some like Discartec, last week, Paymaya, Gcash, BDO, et cetera, So we invite them to, in fact, we are asking their help. We need the help of the private to help the government. Sometimes private companies, they always ask the help of the government, but actually, in my perception, we need the help of the private more than you guys, need the government. Because private is more aggressive, more agile, more innovative, actually. So we would like to use what you guys have and integrate that in a certain platform so that we don't need to repeat, okay, the innovation, the development. So we have the eGov.ph app. I'm going to give you a little bit of we're launching this next month, pilot launching it. So we have the eLGU app, the eGov Cloud, the eTravel. I'm sure you've used some of this every time we arrive in the Philippines. And we have the eGov Pay, which is basically a FinTech enablement, okay, to all FinTech players. So this is not a competition, by the way. I'm going to explain, and you will love hearing this because this will enable you, give you more volume, give more transactions later on in an equal way. All right, so let me proceed. Okay, so this is the eGov Super App. Okay, so introducing the eGov Super App. So this is I can say this maybe the first, but actually it's the first one-stop platform for local and national government that will streamline processes and to bring ease of doing business to Filipinos. Not only Filipinos, even to foreigners. Take note that a certain Filipino citizen, how many websites you have to access? Well, one website for SSS, for PhilHealth, for Pag-ibig. You apply for passport, another website again. You apply for driver's license, another website again. For your PNP clearance, for your NBI clearance, for OFW, you name it. We have more than 200 websites segregated, and each government agency, they are promoting it independently. Grover, our friend from Grover, is smiling. Can you name 5 websites? See, he cannot even memorize 5 websites, right? How much the 200 websites? And take note, even LGUs, they have their own nowadays because they need to innovate as well. And we have around 1,700 LGUs. We have hundreds of state universities. We have hundreds also of GOCCs trying to promote their own thing. And sometimes innovation is quite painful because it's not a straight highway if you go to a certain innovation. Because as you go to the straight highway, you need something. You curb. As you proceed, you curb because you always need something. You need integration, right? That's why no one can proceed with a straight perspective, okay, or target for digital innovation because everything is actually siloed nowadays. And as you implement something, you destroy also the holistic view of the government. I will explain later on. That's why this is a platform. This is so-called rotonda. Imagine a highway, instead of building so many straight highways, in the Philippines, we call it esquinitas, a lot of esquinitas, you know, for shortcuts. But it complicates a lot of things, you know. You consume a lot of roads, you consume a lot of space, and it's very, very expensive. That's why DICT, e-government, is building a rotonda. This is the eGov super app. Meaning, this rotonda, national ID is now being integrated in this system. Meaning you don't need cards anymore, or physical card. Just use the app, you have now your national ID in it, powered by PSA, powered by PLCs. Especially yung mga wala pang ID rito. As long as you have the claims tab, okay na yon. Of course, SIM card registration will be also aggregated here, the 4 websites of the telcos. Tourism will be implemented, powered by tourism, Department of Tourism later on. Jobs will also be integrated here so that Filipinos can apply jobs and to give a free access to international and local job applications later on. E-commerce, we've been discussing a lot of things to DTI. How could we empower local products to empower both delivery companies and payments? So we enable new livelihood and new jobs using this kind of system. And of course, national government systems will be here. Imagine that 175 websites, if you click national government button, now you can find there the SSS, the PhilHealth, the Pag-ibig, the passport, the NBI, the PNP in it. You don't need to memorize now 175 websites. But take note, we're not disrupting their system because we develop a certain technology, a certain simple API called SSO, the single sign-on. So if you click that button, you don't need again to input your first name, your last name, your middle name. Remember, every time you go to a certain agency, you have to bloody repeat those information. You have to submit another document again, right? This time around, once you use the app, there is an eKYC in it, developed internally by DICT. It's also an AI linking to multiple agencies with liveness checking that it's really you. The moment that you are already eKYC'd, now you don't need now to submit any ID anymore. If you click those agencies, you don't need to enter again your first name, your last name, your middle name. Imagine that for the first time in this country to have that kind of technology. And it's already done. It's not a dream anymore. Anyway, I would like to give you a little bit of pic of the mobile app. This will be pilot launch next month. So once you register, everyone can register, both Filipinos and foreigners, by the way. So, of course, you cannot just use any functions without KYC, okay? So you can now see all the functionalities. And of course, you can see there national government agencies, local government, jobs, tourism, agriculture, travel, news, SIM card registration, report. You can even report if you are being scammed or you're being abused or you see a crime. We also coordinated with PNP. We also aggregate their system here for you to report crimes as well. Same app, same system. Then news from the private and from the government sectors will be also exposed here. And we intend to partner with the Philippine News Authority. It's not us who's doing it. If you try to look at the situation, it's not the IC actually doing it. We just created a rotonda. And their mandates will be integrated to this rotonda so that when someone enters that rotonda, you benefit from all of these services. It's a very simple way of e-governance. That's literally e-governance. Okay, so using our AI, okay, once you have a national ID or you have other IDs, in fact, we have a cardless AI. You don't need to present an ID. If you put your first name, last name, middle name, and your picture with your liveness testing, the system will know if you are the real Juan de la Cruz. And there you go. You have the national ID immediately using your phone. So if you go to a certain bank later on, so let me pause a bit. The biggest problem is also data privacy. Normally, agencies, they need to sign a so-called non-disclosure and data sharing agreement. Government are also having problem coordinating to each other because they're so afraid of bringing out data and to be shared to any other agencies because it might leak, etc., etc. That's why I entice all agencies to keep your data. It's your data. Don't give to anyone. Just build an API so that we can link with you without sharing data at all, okay, to any other agency. So that's the idea. And this app is not linking directly to a data, but linking to a certain API for query mechanism. So meaning, it's just a yes or no pattern. Okay, I wish I could show you live, but once you have this QR code, let's say I go to a certain bank, I would like to open a bank account. All you need to do is show your QR code, and that bank will be able to use our plug-and-play API, and then once they scan the QR code or enter the PCN number, I receive now a notification in my phone. You are not allowed to get first my information, but using my phone, there's a message there that are you sure you want to share your information to the bank? This one, this QR code. Are you sure you want to share your information to LTO? Are you sure you want to share information to PNP, to NBI? Now it's called the data sovereignty. We're giving the data power of the citizen. It's no longer the government will be sharing data to any agency or to any private company. It's the person himself. So example, if you click national government, you have SSS, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, et cetera. We signed agreement with them last year, December last year. So without disrupting their activities, now they're able now to use the eKYC without asking for IDs anymore. Local government agencies as well, business permit, real property tax, business tax, without disrupting their technology, but supporting them through an eKYC power and aggregating them in a single platform so that citizens don't need now to go to bloody 1,700 websites of the LGUs, right? So that's the power of the Rotonda system. Tourism. Imagine a foreigner or OFW or typical Filipino, they go to the app, now they can see the beautiful places in the Philippines. And this will be powered by DOT, not us, by the way. The content of this is not us, it's them. If you click travel, some of you entered the Philippines, you use the e-travel. In the past, you use a lot of things. You fill up manual application, the arrival card, you have the One Health Pass, you have the custom declaration, you have local airport. Now, just e-travel. If you click health button, now you can see all the nearby malasakit centers, hospitals, clinics, so that you know where to go if you have something, if you need, health assistance, right? And in the future, this will be innovated also by DOH. Again, it's not us who's doing it, it's them. If you click SIM card registration, you can now find the 3 systems of the telcos. You don't need now to put your name, your last name, your middle name, and submit, identification card. You can even complain. You can report if you are being scammed, you see a crime, or you're being abused, child abuse. In fact, I was with the DSWD subsidiary the other day, and they would like to promote also, like, how could even the children who are being bullied in schools, they can report here. Okay, so meaning it can be used not only by adults but by children as well. Of course, news is also there. In fact, futuristically speaking, in the same app, they're already discussing this about creating an e-passport, an e-driver's license, an e-PRC, an e-cards, so that you don't need to put a lot of cards in your wallet later on. Using your app, you have your driver's license here. Using your app, you have your passport. So this is the future that we're trying to communicate and integrate to government agencies without asking them to revise their technology. It's just an enhancement of what they have. If they don't have one, the ICT can build. So first task that I have for the past 6 months, so I'm a 6-month-old first-timer in the government, and to be honest with you, now I understand why it's quite slow. There's a lot of, you know what I mean. But, I think we need to privatize not the government, but the approach of the government. I think we can do that. And to be honest with you, we're asking the help of the private entities. That's why in our office, we're entertaining a lot of private. We are creating a catalog now, catalog of the strength of the private, so that we know who has this, who has that. And we're able now to aggregate also your strength to help the government in the future. I even assembled a team to catalog the strength of the private companies. We're entertaining almost every day. We have visitors in the ICT. We listen to them. And we're able to catalog their strengths. If this is for FinTech, now we're talking. You need to be integrated in our eGovPay. All right? Anyway, let's get this part. LGU system. Okay, you know, LGU is very important because they can implement in a micro way, you know, not macro way. National services sometimes is really hard to implement because it's too massive. You know, you need promotion, you need a lot of partners. But in LGU level, the mayor can actually sign an ordinance level and all citizens will follow. In the past, they are also siloed. They have their own system, but it's okay. But using the LGU system is also an integration layer for them. If they don't have any system, they can use the ELGU system. If they don't have, again, we have the SSO. Same. They don't need to change any system that they have. But this will unify the data so that the ILG will have a holistic view of dashboard. They can see what's really going on in the Philippines. Right? The analytics will help the national government to have a better decision making later on. Correct? Anyway, I'm now in the eGov Cloud. You know, we are actually spending so much money. Okay, regardless if, for me, I'm a fan of cloud services. Yes, we're building our own cloud, but we would like also to make sure that this is unified later on so that it will be utilized. In fact, when I saw the data services of DICT, there's a lot of underutilized components for cloud services. We would like to maximize this. You know, same as a car, even if we give you a Ferrari car, if you are not using this, yes, you have a Ferrari car, but it's useless. Same thing with cloud services. Regardless if this is Google Cloud, AWS, Huawei, Azure, we will use it. And we will have a platform soon that any other agency they can actually get from us. We'll be the one to provide them cloud services instead of them, you know, purchasing their own. At the same time, we're able to centralize now data privacy and cybersecurity. Because if the data is decentralized, how can the ICT monitor all of them and protect them? We cannot, to be honest with you. We cannot. That's why we need to have a solid ground, a carpet ground for them to collaborate and integrate without us touching their data, but for them to have full control of their data. At the same time, we're able to help them secure the data, right? This is to simplify our job also in the ICT. In fact, sometimes if you want to be a good carpenter, you fix your house first. And we've done that for the past 6 months. If you want to be a good and win battle, you have to prepare your platoon. Make sure that you have weapons. We've done that for the past 6 months. And I think we're ready to really go there and assist a lot of government agencies. But I was talking to Richard a while ago. He's asking me, and in fact, when I was reviewing our mandate, especially in e-government, my God, I'm planning to resign. You know, it's really hard. But, okay, aggregating the strength of other agencies, combining that into an e-governance initiative, it's really possible. It's really, really possible. Same thing with the eGov Cloud. Some of you, you've used the e-travel. We've launched this last December, only last year. Before, if you enter the airport, you have to fill up manually the arrival card. If you, right? Then you have to go to a website, a One Health Pass, for you to declare if you're sick or not, which basically you can lie. And then you have to fill up manually a customs form, or you want to fill up also a local seaport or local airport form again. Then if you're a foreigner, you have to fill up a tourism form again, like 5 to 6 systems if you enter. Now we implement an e-government system called the e-travel. If you enter the airport now, all you need to do is just one system. Now the e-travel will handle the data sharing now, going to DOH, going to Department of Transportation, going to Immigration, going to Department of Tourism. Meaning that is simplification, that's e-governance. The Juan de la Cruz don't need to use 5 systems, you use one system, and the system will do the rest. Right? So it's a very big sample of e-governance. Thank you. Well, I'm sure you're excited to discuss about the EO170. Okay? This is this is the adoption of digital payments for government services. But take note, when they implemented this 2 years ago, it's also messy. You know why? What happened was like this. Every agency, okay, all of you all the fintech players, they're so excited. Now the government supporting us. Now let's go and attack the government and give our APIs. My God, a certain programmer. Let's say if I'm a programmer in a certain agency, I receive a lot of APIs, right? I have API from e-wallets. I have API from banks. I have API from e-cards. I have API from a lot of e-payment channels. What shall I do? I have to integrate them one by one. It's okay. It will work if I'm a good programmer, but we mess up a lot of things there. First, there is no transparency. The Bureau of Treasury doesn't have any ledger anymore. Number two, you're not issuing an official receipt, okay, issued by the National Printing Office, meaning there is no transparent reporting already in terms of accounting and collection system. Yes, they're able to collect electronically, but internally the agency is suffering. The accounting system is messed up, the consolidation of the report is messed up, the collection system is messed up, and more likely they use Excel file to consolidate everything. And then if they receive money in the respective bank, they don't even know if it's actually that amount they are actually received because there's no ledgering system. The government is suffering out of this kind. Yes, the private is very happy because now the e-commerce, the e-payment is really being amplified in this country, but you have to take a look also on the holistic view of the government. COA don't have access as well. Land Bank don't have access at all. And other government banks, they don't have access at all. You see? So you might be smiling, but because of this e-GovPay, again, it will not disrupt the operation. It's an aggregation, a rotonda again, a rotonda of innovation where all payment channels, and by the way, before I go to that rotonda, e-GovPay, there's also one big problem, overpricing of convenience fees. You see? Sometimes, because we know, one of my startup was acquired by conglomerate before, one of the biggest payment gateway. That's why this is one of my cup of tea. And the cost of transaction is really small. But try to transact in the government, try to acquire a certain ID. You can see huge convenience fees already. You know why? Because contractors are now adding on top of the convenience fees of the payment channels. There's no regulation to that right now. e-GovPay, with the help of Bureau of Treasury, BSP, DOF, the National Printing Office for the government side, and we plan also to collaborate with DOF for the BIR side to make sure that we're able also to help the citizen and minimize the fee, protecting your business and minimize the fee. Correct? So this is advantageous to all fintech companies because we will protect your revenue. At the same time, we're able to create more volume for you. Imagine Lito, he need to go one by one to all agencies and provide his API. Imagine GCash, PayMaya, Alipay, WeChat Pay, GrabPay, and all the pay, then provide API to government agencies. Literally, they're messing up already the operation there. But if you are here to help us, in the we're asking you help. You plug into us, and then we will do the marketing to you. Immediately, you will be accessed by 175 national government projects immediately. You will be accessed by 1,700 LGUs immediately. Now you save money in terms of marketing. You don't need to market anymore your API. So we become your free marketing agent, right? So that's the way to move forward. And we're able to fix the integration problem of a certain government agency. We can issue now an official receipt. Every time you pay, you're able to receive a text message. Thank you, Richard, for paying your permit. Your official receipt number is 11110. Click this link to view your official receipt. You can even click it. You can even print it if you like, if you need reimbursement later on to your respective agencies. So that's a rotunda approach without disrupting, okay, the modality of integration in terms of e-governance. Anyway, I have another 1 hour, right? So, okay, so that's the e-GovPay, guys. Okay, so we're willing to collaborate with you. Please contact us. We're willing to consume your APIs. We are expert to this. The good news is, a lot of my programmers in the past, they also joined me in the government, by the way. So I have a lot of Avenger team now in the ICT. So I'm not alone there. A lot of patriotic individuals also joined me in the ICT to make this happen. This is also one of our cup of tea. All right? And, well, we'll be launching this soon. the secured payment gateway. Okay, so we plan to launch this by April or May. So we are now, it took us like 5 months to build this, to build the Rotunda. I've shown you a while ago an eGov app, Rotunda. Now I'm showing you an eGov Pay Rotunda powered by the collaboration of other agencies, not only the DICT. So we ask guidance from BSV, from DOF, from Bureau of Treasury, from NPO, etc., to make sure that they're able to guide us. Because our job is not to operate this. It's not our job. Our job is to build the car, and someone should drive it, whoever's the one has the mandate to do it. We're not doing their mandate, of course. We have so much things to do, right? And of course, now in a single integration, imagine you are a certain agency. You use the API, now boom, you have connection to all e-wallets immediately. You have connection to all banks immediately using InstaPay and PesoNet. You have connection already to a lot of integrations, including cash payments, right? In a single integration without overpricing the convenience fees added by so many contractors nowadays to protect you also. Because sometimes they thought you are the one adding fees, but it's not you actually. All right? So I'll skip this part. We have also the back end. I wish I could show you the back end, but it might add another 1 hour, Rebecca. Okay, so I'll skip this part. Okay, so anyway, we have a lot of challenges. Okay, so I'm not saying that this is easy to do, by the way. I've shown you like 5 out of 37 priority projects of the ICT. But to be honest with you, FinTech can be our enabler. FinTech, the financial technology companies, the banks, to promote financial inclusion. We've been discussing this with BSP, and they're very aggressive in making this happen. But again, talking is just talking. Planning is just planning. Technical working groups are just meetings. But we have to start from something. These challenges can be eradicated, okay, but by launching another act called the e-governance bill. I was in the Congress. In fact, this afternoon I'll be in the Congress again for the first reading, and we're praying that it will be passed soon and in the second reading, because this will also give very good salary to IT people in the government. You know, one of the things that I discovered, that's why there's no sustainability in the government, salaries of the IT people in the government are like 30,000, 20,000. They're not staying. Government IT professions are not enticing to IT experts, IT professionals. They're leaving. They even use government as their track record in their resume for them to go abroad or transfer to other private company. We need to make sure that e-government or the IT professionals later on will be excited to join the government because there's huge compensation. And we're able to add that in that bill. And hopefully, prayingfully, if that will be approved, we're able now to bring experts to join the government. When I graduated, my first thing in my mind is I want to go abroad as a full-stack programmer. But we would like to change that. If I graduate, I want to join the government because there's good compensation. People will stay for them to continue all these legacies that we're able to build. We're just starting. And to be honest, that baby steps, those birth pains that we're able to encounter, we're not perfect. But we're doing our best to make sure that we're not only innovating, but securing both data privacy and cybersecurity at the same time. So we focus on the most doable and most implementable ones first. I was speaking to Richard a while ago. We don't need to do everything now, but we need to start on the most doable and implementable and most impactful to people so that we're able to help more citizens. So thank you so much. So we believe in a horizontal play. So we have a lot of systems and platforms, but with your help, we're able to do a lot of things together. Maraming salamat po at magandang araw.